So in the Mishnah, we gave this situation of how when one a zaken from a bezdin, one of the mumchas, had a question and they weren't able to resolve it, they would go to the more senior bezdin, eventually go through three batei din in Yerushalayim, one by the entrance of the to the entrance of the Harabayis, one by the entrance of the to the Chotzer, and one that was a Lishkas Sanhedrin. Lishkas Hagazis was the Sanhedrin. Amrav Kana hu aymen b'pi hashmua, v'hein aymen b'pi hashmua, einei nereg. If the Zaken Mamre, this possible Zaken Mamre, said something that he had heard from his Rebbe, v'hein aymen b'pi hashmua, and the Sanhedrin said they had heard differently from their Rabbein, einei nereg. That's not the case of Zaken Mamre. It means he had a very good basis for what he was saying. The Zaken Mamre, he said, "This is what my Rebbe told me." So now he's being stubborn. Or if it's a very amorphous, a very not well-founded reason. He says, "This is the Al Pi Svara, I think I'm right." But the Sanhedrin didn't have a shmua. They also were coming based on what they thought was Al Pi Svara. Also, he doesn't get killed. If he has a better source and they have a lesser source, if they're equal, he's not a Zaken Mamre. And certainly if he has a better source than them, then he's not an Einei Nereg. If he's insisting on contradicting them, mipi asvara, even connected that they have a shmur, that they have a raya from the Rebbe. Teda shari lo hargu es Akiva ben Malal, because they did not kill Rabbi Akiva ben Malal. Rashi explains. Rashi fall into the bam. Nechlak al chacham belishkas hagazis bedal ledvar mechsechles idias. There were four things that he was chaylik on the rest of the chachamim in the Sanhedrin. He told his son, "Don't follow what I'm saying. You have to follow the Sanhedrin." He said, "Why weren't you chayzer?" He says, "I heard it from my Rebbe or from the Merubim. I heard it from B'Shem that this was what the Roiv Paskin. So I am going kafi what I know. But you don't have that same basis. You're only coming based on what I'm saying, so you're not permitted to follow me." So in that case, they were both mipi hashmua. So the Gemara is saying this is a raya. There's a raya that mipi hashmua is not. If they're both the same, they're both mipi hashmua. They're not. They don't get. It's not a din of a zaken mamre. Even if he has a better raya, and they just say that's a svara nerag, it's still nerag kadeshla yivu machlekes bisor. But Lezer says it doesn't make a difference. We have to be very leery of someone paskening on his own, even if he has a better basis than the Sanhedrin. Even so, he's nerag, because it comes down to shel yivu machlekes bisor. If that's the case, Taka, why wasn't Rabbi Akiva ben Malal? Why wasn't he a Zaken Mamre? He just said he just was teaching, but he wasn't paskening halacha l'maisa. Tnan. Kach darashti v'kach darshu chaveri. Kach lamati v'kach lamdu chaveri. My. What if he says this is what we darshaned, and this is what this is the way our Mishnah said. This is what our Mishnah said, right? That he said when he comes to the first bezdin, he says this is what I said and this is what they said. This is what they learned and this is what I learned. My love do I'm piashmu ve'imaimer kachu beinenu. L'chayra, the mashmayis from this is that he was saying mipi hashmua and they're saying beinenu. So Rashi, where does that come from? No. What was the svara? Tachu be'eina behema mipi Yeshua. I don't know why the Gemara assumes this.
Yeah.
Loi, who I mekachu be'eina behema mipi Yeshua. It's the other way around. I guess. I don't know. Tashma. The Amar Rabbi Yishai, Shloisha Dvarim Sachli Zeira Me'anshi Yerushalayim. There were three things that Zeira told me. Baal Shamachal al Kinuyav Machal. If a husband who was Mekana to his wife, he told her, don't be miyached with this man, don't do a stira with this man, then you become a saita. If he says, I'm withdrawing it, it's withdrawn, he could be meichel. And similarly, similar type of din. Ben Saru Myra, the parents can be meichel. They don't want him to be killed. I think this is one of the reasons we said it's very rare for Ben Saru Myra to get killed. And it's also a bezdin can give absolve someone who wouldn't be submit to the psak of the bezdin. When I came to my chaverim down south, they said no, you can't be meichel on that because that will there's a reason for it. We don't want to cause additional machlokes. So if we're going to be lax, then people will not be hesitant to dispute the psak of the Sanhedrin. Tiyofta. So Eina Chanami, if we're saying it's because of Layirbu Machlokes B'Yisrael, clearly it's not going to make a difference what the basis for his disagreement is. Tanya, Amr Rabbi Yossi, there was no machlokes because the Bezdin said in Lishka Hadosh, Shnei Batei Din Shel Eser V'Shloisha, Echad Yoshev Al Pesach HaRabayis, V'Echad Yoshev Al Pesach HaZor, like we said in the Mishnah. V'Shar Batei Din Shel Eser V'Shloisha, Yoshem B'Chol HaYaris Yisrael, and wherever, in every city, there was actually a Bezdin of 23 to be done Dinei Nefashos. Hutzach Hadav Lishol, if someone had a question, if there was a question that the Bezdin wasn't able to come to an answer, Shalom Mi Bezdin Shebeira, and they would ask in the Bezdin in their city. Im Shamu Armelhan, if they knew the answer, they would say, Vim Lav Boyan Lezesha Samachliran. They would ask an adjoining city. Im Shamu Amrulan, and if they heard it, they would answer. Vim Lav Boyan Lezesh Al Pesach HaRabayis. They would first go to the lowest court of appeals, the first one of the three by the Harabayis. Im Shamu Amrulan, and if they know the answer, they would say, Vim Lav Boyan Lezesh Al Pesach HaZorah. V'ayim Kach Darashti Kach Darshu Chaveri Kach Lamadi Kach Lam. The Chaveri was a lashon of the Mishnah. He said that this is what we said and this is what my chaverim said. Im shamru amulahem. If they know the answer, they answer. Im lav elei ba'in lishkas hagazis. They would go to lishkas hagazis. Shesham yeshem mitamid shel shachar or tamid shel bein abayim. The Sanhedrin Hagadol of 71 was sitting there from the tamid in the morning till they brought the tamid at night. This is not to paskin. There's no psak on Shabbos and Yom Tov. But they would sit in the chayil. They would sit in a different place, not in the Lishka Hagazis, to let people know that was their place to be, but they weren't available for shilas. Nisha she'ela b'fneim. They would ask the question in front of them. Shamu amlahem. If they knew the answer, they would answer them. Lav minyan. They would make a vote on it. Rabba ha metamim tamu. Rabba ha metarim taru. Most of them say tamid, and it's tamid. If vice versa, vice versa. But when the time of Shammai and Hillel came, that they, in addition to the fact that it was no longer a Sanhedrin in the Lishkas Hagazis, and there were Talmidim that did not get sufficient shimush and had a patkin shilas, Rav Machlekes B'Yisrael. Benasas Torah Kishtei Torahs. That's when it first started to happen. That became different shitas. That we say Elu V'Elu Divrei Elikim Chayim, but still we had multiple shitas in had a paskin Torah. Misham Kais, and this is like an ancillary issue. Misham Kais Mishalchem B'Chol Mokamis, from the Lishkas Hagazis, they would send out shluchim to everywhere. Homishu Chacham V'Shafal Berach, anyone who's a Chacham V'Shafal Berach and he's humble. The das habrias noichaimenu, and he's a pleasant person that people can get along with him. Yeidayim be'iroi. He should become a dayan in his city. Misham al harbayis, and if he's successful in that, then he can be elevated at some point to be in the harbayis. Misham la'azara, misham lishka gazis, and he could keep on being elevated till he gets to lishka gazis. Shalchu mitam ezu ben ha'olam haba, who is an olam ben olam haba, and a vasan b'shafel berach, someone who's an anav, and he casts himself down. He doesn't hold himself up. Shayif ayel shayel nafik. When he comes in and he goes out, he lowers himself down. He's not embarrassed. He's a man of the people. The garis by Raisa, he's knowledgeable. Tadira, he's always learning. And he doesn't try to get things for himself. Zak the Gemara, Yavu be Rabban and Yayu be Ravula Baraba. Everyone turned to look at Ula Baraba because he fit this description to a T. Zak the Gemara, Chazal Ira Vishana, that we said that after they got the psak from the Sanhedrin, if the Dayan went back to his city and he taught not like what the Sanhedrin had said, he's not going to be chayiv. He's not going to be a zaken mamre because he's just teaching it. He's not going to be mechayiv until they follow his until he follows what he paskind. Or he tells other people to do what he said. So Bishlam that I could understand. Ella sheyasa kairasa mikara nami. I'm sorry, right.
What does it mean? Bishlam Yor.
Bishlam Yor lachem v'yasa kairasa. If he tells other to do what he said, mikara la barkatalu. Bahashta barkatalu.
All right.
Since he had already, if he told them what to do, and
right.
now that they paskined against him,
he's not chayiv misa,
and he sticks with it.
Right.
It's going to be chayiv. Eloshi, but when we said that if he did like he himself paskins, Nam Katalahu, he's also Bakatala Hatenecheka the Oyer Bechala Vidam. The Mikar Labakatalu Vahashta Bakatalu.
What does that mean, Mikar? Meaning even
that means he wasn't supposed to get killed. he didn't do something that was awesome. The point is the problem is going to be that he paskined something and he was over on it's a little strange this Gemara, but the Gemara is assuming that it was something that he said was mutter and they said was aser, and he did it nevertheless.
Because
I think the assumption is,
what does Rashi mean? Mikar nami barkatalahu im isa berish yesh ba Mrs. Bedin having
right. The point is, I didn't finish reading the question. The Gemara's question is, if he's paskening for himself and he's following his own psak, the assumption seems to be that if he paskened l'chumra and they paskened l'kula, that wouldn't be a zaken mamre, because how could you act l'chumra? You're not doing anything. You're just not doing. You're avoiding doing something. You wouldn't get misa. You wouldn't. There's no way to act with a chumra.
Okay.
So talk about when he did something l'kula, something that the Bezdin said you're not allowed to do, and he did it. So Gemara is saying he gets misa anyway for doing something,
even if he
actual
wouldn't be
avera that he did,
he wouldn't be right,
even without being a zaken mamre.
Got it.
So we're just saying it's good if you're talking about something like basa b'chalav, but if it's something that's chayv Mrs. Bezdin, he was a bar katal anyway. Meikara. So tomorrow, meikara boy hasra, hashtalei boy hasra. The Gemara says no. The nafkamin is going to be if he didn't get a hasra on that chayv Mrs. Bezdin, he did it. And he wasn't supposed to do it, but there wasn't a hasra. And now he got a hasra saying, but if you have to follow what the Sanhedrin did, or else you're going to be a zaken mamre, and then he's going to be chayav. So the Gemara says, what about a mesis? Like we said before, a mesis is going to be chayav even without hasra. So how's it going to be an afkamina if he's a zaken mamre and a mesis? I don't know why bedafka. Like we had all this long Gemara saying what's the cases of mesis, and now I'm sorry, what's the case of a zaken mamre? And we had the machlekes, the three-way machlekes about what the limitation. And now all of a sudden, how could it be that there's one case that's not going to be able to be a zaken mamre? Zaken Gemara meikari amar taima. Mekablina mine. Hashli yama taima le mekablina mine. The difference is going to be if he has an explanation of why he shouldn't be mechayev for being a mesis, even though it doesn't need a hasra, you would accept it. You know, if even though the halacha is that he is considered a mesis, but he didn't get a hasra, and he says the reason why he did it was for this and this reason. So he'd be a shayge gaza. He's without asra, he'd be takapater, even though you don't need asra, you need to be doing it intentionally. But now that he's a zaken mamre, no, we're not taking any excuses from him. Okay, Yasher Koyach.
Thank you,
And
Yo.
I'll see you tomorrow morning. Thanks so much.
Yo, I'm really liking this twice a day over here. We get to see each other so often.
I really appreciate it.
You got it. I'll see you tomorrow, Mitchell.
Yeah, I think we're still 5 lap behind, but
let's not collect the money.
Menachem's asking if he can walk to you Friday night just because he's going to be